There was a lot of discussion during and after this game about the relative values of Isiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt when it came to the Chiefs' short yardage running game. I think this mainly happened because Isiah Pacheco in the third quarter had some unsuccessful short yardage plays, and Kareem Hunt later in the game had some successful short yardage plays, and that led to a lot of people questioning why the Chiefs would ever run Isiah Pacheco in short yardage situations at all. So I decided to go back and we're going to look at all of the plays in this game where the Chiefs ran the ball where there were 4 or fewer yards to get the first down. And let's look at, there'll be some runs for Pacheco, some for Hunt, and let's look at the relative performance of the two backs and the performance of the team during those runs to see if we can get any answers as far as, does it matter? Should the Chiefs be picking one running back over the other, or are both viable options when it comes to the run game in short yardage? So let's start with this play here. This is from the Chiefs' first drive of the game. It's actually their second play of the game on offense. They have a 2nd and 3 after getting 7 yards on first down, and they have the ball at their own about 41-yard line. So let's run through this play really quickly and see what happens, and then we'll come back and break it down. So you see Mahomes motion worthy over to the left and hand it to Pacheco going right. Pacheco kind of darts through traffic and ends up getting 7 yards and a first down on 2nd and 3. So let's take a look here on what went on this play. So the Chiefs here are lined up in 12 personnel. They've got one running back, Isiah Pacheco, and their 2 tight ends are Noah Gray here, Travis Kelce here. Wide receivers are Justin Watson and Xavier Worthy. So the first thing to note is at the snap, the Chiefs motion Worthy on a jet motion behind and snap it. And if you see here, this is actually an RPO. So right here, Mahomes has the option to hand this off to Pacheco or to hold it and swing a bubble screen to Xavier Worthy, and he's got Watson and he's got Noah Gray out in front as blockers. So if we let this run a little bit, you can see Watson and Gray coming out in front to block for Worthy. So that option was also there for Mahomes, and they don't block the end down on this side. So in theory, the read could simply be to the end. I mean, Mahomes might just be looking at numbers in the box overall. It's kind of a muddy box. It's hard to tell. Like, they look like they could be in cover 3 here, but they do have 4 guys that are here. Like, one could read this as an 8-man box. So Mahomes might be seeing how much guys are dropping at the snap or coming up. Or it could be as simple as just a read of this end. And if the end crashed down, he would have swung this bubble over because he would have liked the numbers. But since the end kind of stayed wide here, he decided to hand it off. It could be as simple as just that read right there. In any case, both options were there for Mahomes. He ended up handing it to Pacheco. The line is going to block as so. Joe Thuney is going to block this tackle. Creed Humphrey is going to take this tackle. Jawan Taylor is going to take this tackle. And you're going to get the guards, Trey Smith and Mike Caliendo. Where's Caliendo? There. Or sorry, I hit Thuney. Here's Caliendo and Trey Smith are going to come to the second level. So you got Thuney here, Humphrey here, Taylor here, and then the 2 guards coming up to the second level. So you see Pacheco take the handoff. The linemen are pretty well blocked up, and Pacheco does a good job being patient here and waiting for an opening. He actually ends up kind of reading the defender that is being blocked by Jawan Taylor right here and determining his direction based on what gap this defender tries to fill. So see, if you watch him, Pacheco is waiting, and then this defender flashes his helmet on the inside of Jawan Taylor. So Pacheco decides to take the other side, and he comes around, pops it out, and then as Trey Smith is moving his second level defender out, he cuts in behind Trey Smith to get upfield, get north and south right here. So after going around Taylor, then he comes inside of Smith to get up the field and get 7 yards. So all in all, the play is blocked pretty well, and Pacheco seems to read it out pretty well also. So let's look at this again. Remember, the end here is unblocked, and it looks like he's kind of the read. So if he goes in, Mahomes might have tossed this out to the bubble to Worthy. But since he kind of flashed down, that might have been the primary reason. I'm not exactly sure what Mahomes is reading here, but it very well could have just been the end right here, especially based on where Mahomes is looking as he's at the mesh point. But then once Worthy gets it, remember, we've got Tooney blocking the tackle. He's unblocked. Creed blocking this tackle. Jawan Taylor blocking the end. Caliendo comes up. Trey Smith comes up to second level. And watch Pacheco here. Very patient. He's coming through and reading this out. And he's basically trying to decide based on how this defender plays Taylor, whether he's going to cut up or he's going to come around. So he does a good job waiting to the last minute, and then look at the defender, chose a gap. He chose inside as Pacheco kind of flashed into this gap, so he bounces it around and takes it outside. Then he sees Trey Smith getting his defender out, and so he cuts it back up inside and gets a solid gain here of 7 yards. Picks up a first down on a second and short situation. So all in all, this is a play that was blocked pretty well and looks like it was read out pretty well by Pacheco. No real notes here. The line did pretty well, and Pacheco got what was there and got a first down. So from this play, no reason. One might argue this isn't like a true short yardage situation since it's second down. But don't worry, we'll get short yardage, third down short yardage situations as well. But nothing from this run to suggest that there was any deficiency in the way that Pacheco was reading things out in a 2nd and 3. So our next run play comes with 4:42 to go in the second quarter. The Chiefs are down 10-7 at this point, and they have a 1st and goal at the Texans' 3-yard line. So another short yardage running situation. Let's take a look at this play, and then we'll break down what happened. We've got Juju motion over to the right. Mahomes is under center. Hands to Kareem Hunt, who goes up the middle for a touchdown. So let's take a look at how this happened. The Chiefs actually line up in a lighter personnel for a goal line. I mean, this isn't quite goal line, but for a short yardage situation. They're actually in 3 wide, 11 personnel. There's 1 running back, Kareem Hunt, 1 tight end, Travis Kelce, and their wide receivers are DeAndre Hopkins, Xavier Worthy, and Juju Smith-Schuster. So they start by they motion Juju this way, and the idea is they have the end unblocked. So I think this will make the end hesitate a little bit as he goes by, and additionally, hopefully, will bring a defender out of the box to follow him. So if you see in his motion, you have 2 defenders actually running with Juju, and they kind of slowed this 3rd defender down as he ran by. So that's Juju's motion. You can see how they slowed the 3rd defender down right here in that collision. So Juju's motion helps make him hesitate, sends these 2 over, and slows him down coming in. So it actually accomplishes quite a bit of removing traffic from the run. They end up then blocking this as so. So they get a double team here from Tooney and Caliendo on this D tackle. Remember, he's unblocked. Creed takes this D tackle by himself. Jawan Taylor comes out and gets this end. Trey Smith will come up, and he ultimately kicks out this linebacker. And then Travis Kelce hugs the end of this block and then comes around and tries to help block the linebacker here. So let's watch this in action. Here's the handoff, and you see the blocks coming together. Here's that double team. Trey Smith has come out, and he's going to end up getting this backer. Taylor's got this block, and Creed is doing enough to keep this tackle out of the way. So ultimately, Kelce's kind of riding this double team, and he's going to try to make his way over here. Remember, this person's going with Juju. They're going with Juju. This person's going to try to come in. So Hunt takes the handoff and is able to navigate. Again, Hunt does really well with his feet. He kind of sets and pivots to get away from this tackle. Then he's able to get north-south behind the double team block over here. And Caliendo, if you notice, is coming off of this double team and going to try to get to the second level as well. But Hunt stays behind the double team right here and kind of just sees this as being his path to the end zone and just follows it all the way. I think Travis Kelce was expecting Hunt to be a little bit more toward the outside, but since Hunt sees this defender closing in, I think he decides to hug the back of this double team. Well, now it's not a double team because Caliendo has come off, but hug the back of Joe Thuney and try to get into the end zone. The reason why I'm saying I think Kelce thought he was going to be farther outside is if you watch Kelce when he comes to this linebacker, part of the reason is that he doesn't, based on their timing, he doesn't get a good angle at the backer. He comes at him right from the side, but he's trying to just shove him out of the way because I think he thinks Hunt's going to come in through here. But Hunt's actually much more on Thuney's hip. So that linebacker ends up coming right up into Hunt. But Hunt is very good at falling forward through contact. And he gets a boost because the defensive end ends up hitting him from behind. And so that pushes him forward, and he ultimately is able to drive into the end zone for a touchdown. So we'll see this again. Again, here's Juju's motion. So if you remember, Juju's going to come across, and him coming across is going to help muddy this up. And this defender is going to follow, and the deep defender is going to follow as well. Blocking scheme here, we've got a double team here. Creed is going to block here. Taylor is going to block here. Trey Smith comes out and takes 23 right here. Kelce is going to ride this double team and come over to try to block the backer. And Caliendo ends up coming out off. First he's going to double team here and then come out and try to block a second level defender as well. So you see Juju going, see this defender going out with him. So I marked the wrong guy who's going to run with Juju. It's actually 48, not 4. 4 is the one that's going to try to come across, and he runs into 48. So you can see how Juju's motion removes these two entirely and slows 4 down from actually getting involved in the play. So here is the handoff. So you see the double team coming on here, and then Caliendo is trying to come off the double team and block here. Smith is going to come out. Taylor's handling his block. Creed's handling his block. And we're about to get the ball here for Hunt, and Hunt is going to try to come in behind this block from Creed. Then as he comes up, I think the ideal is to get this lane here, which is what I think Kelce thinks is going to be happening. But with this pursuit from the backside and this defender here, Hunt chooses to hug Thuney a little bit more, stay in a little bit closer, and just go straight north-south. And because of that, he ends up running into this defender that Kelce's blocking. But again, this is where his combination of him being strong at the point of attack and the defensive end hitting him from behind kind of propels him into the end zone, and he gets a touchdown. So all in all, I would say this play was a little muddier than the one we saw from Pacheco. Makes sense that it's at the goal line. It's blocked pretty well at the point of attack, right? It's not like anybody was busting through, and Hunt navigated the traffic pretty well. He met defenders on the second level, though, and was able to fall forward, one of the really good traits that he has to get into the end zone. So maybe blocked a little bit worse than the Pacheco play, and maybe you could give Hunt a little extra props for what he was able to do on the second level. Both blocked pretty well and run pretty well by the running back. So we move ahead to 10:31 to go in the third quarter. The Chiefs are up 17-16 and have a 3rd and 1 at their own 49-yard line. Now this play and the play after it are two of the plays that I think I heard the most about, people questioning why Pacheco was being used in short yardage situations. So we'll break them down back to back and see what went on in these plays. Let's let this third down play run first, and then we can take a look at what was going on. So here they motion Kelce out, hand it to Pacheco from a tight split, and he gets stuffed at the line. So let's look into some detail about what happened here. First of all, personnel-wise, interestingly, for a 3rd and 1, the Chiefs are in 11 personnel. They have 1 running back, Isiah Pacheco, and 1 tight end, Travis Kelce. Even though they're kind of loaded in the backfield in this formation, they have 3 wide receivers. This is Juju Smith-Schuster, this is Justin Watson, and this is Xavier Worthy. They then motion Kelce out into the tight end spot, and they have kind of a split back look. They end up handing to Pacheco, trying to hit the left side of the line, and this is how they end up blocking this. They get Tooney coming out here. Creed and Caliendo have double team here. Jawan Taylor is actually going to take this tackle, and Trey Smith is going to try to sneak through and hit the middle linebacker. Kelce is responsible for the end, and Juju takes this defensive back on the edge. So if you watch what happens, they hand it to Pacheco, and he's just trying to hit this gap right behind Trey Smith. So Trey Smith is going to get the linebacker, and Pacheco is going to try to come in right behind him. The initial blocks, Tooney's got his block. You've got the double here with Creed and Caliendo. You see Taylor here, Kelce here, Juju here. Everybody's on their block. But watch Trey Smith. As Trey Smith tries to come through and hit the middle linebacker, he doesn't get through that hole, and the middle linebacker comes unimpeded and is able to hit Pacheco right in the hole and stop him from getting any yardage. Now, I want you to watch very carefully. Look at Trey Smith's right arm right here. As Trey Smith's coming through, number 72, the defensive tackle, hooks Trey Smith's arm right there. You can't see it very well in this view, but we'll see it through the end zone view real quick. He hooks Trey Smith's arm, which is why he falls here and is not able to go block that middle linebacker. If his arm hadn't been hooked like that, he'll block that middle linebacker, and Pacheco has a place to go and a way to get to that first down marker. So let's actually look at that from the end zone view right here. It's much clearer. So again, let's have Kelce motion out. Just a reminder of who's blocking whom. Tooney's got him, Caliendo, and Creed take him. Jawan Taylor blocks 72, and Trey is trying to come through here, and he's trying to block 43. Taylor's the one that's blocking him. Kelce is blocking him. So let's watch this again. And pay attention to Creed Trey Smith as he's coming through and trying to get to 43. Look at 72's right arm. Hook Trey Smith's right arm as he comes by right there, and Smith can't get off and falls down as he's trying to block 43. He's trying to hit this block right here, and then look at what 43 is able to do. Come in, and he gets low and is able to stop Pacheco's momentum and tackle him right there. So this actually should be a defensive holding penalty on 72 and should have been a first down for the Chiefs. But this kind of stuff that kind of happens in the trenches, sometimes things get missed, things don't get called. And that was a big one that was missed there, because there's a reason why this play wasn't blocked up. It's because 72 held Trey Smith. Again, this isn't really a play that I feel like one can have a lot of gripe with Pacheco here. You had an unblocked guy right in the hole before Pacheco was able to get any kind of momentum. Like, is your argument that maybe you could have fallen forward a little more? I mean, I don't know. He goes low. 43 goes low too. He tries to drive forward, and he gets ridden to the ground. I don't really know that I can put a lot of blame on Pacheco for this run. Honestly, it was blocked up pretty well. It was just that the defensive tackle committed a penalty, and that prevented Trey Smith to be able from getting to his spot and blocking who he was supposed to. This probably would have been a first down otherwise. But hard for me to put a ton of blame on Pacheco for this play. All right, so now we jump to the very next play. So the Chiefs had a 3rd and 1. Now they got 4th and 1 at the 49-yard line, still up 17-16 now with 9:57 to go in the 3rd quarter. So let's run the 4th down play, and then we can check out what we think. Here Pacheco again tries to get it and gets stuffed right in the middle of the line. So let's take a look at what happened. Again, the Chiefs come out in 11 personnel for this short yardage situation. So they're trying to give the appearance that they could be passing. 1 running back, tight end here is Travis Kelce. DeAndre Hopkins is up here. This is Justin Watson. This is Xavier Worthy. And they try a very similar blocking scheme. So they've got Tooney blocking here. They've got a double again from Caliendo and Creed here. They've got Jawan Taylor coming in here. Trey Smith again is coming to the 2nd level to block the linebacker. And then Travis Kelce is taking on the defensive end. So let's watch this in action. Here's the double. Tooney's taking this end. Jawan Taylor is taking this, and then this time Trey is actually able to get through to the 2nd level and is not held. Unfortunately, this time Trey Smith, who's normally so great and so violent at the point of the attack, gets kind of blown up backwards by the linebacker. He gets pushed off. So, in the last clip I said that had Trey Smith gotten to the middle linebacker, then we probably would have gotten a 1st down. Well, unfortunately, he got to the middle linebacker this time, and he got moved backwards. And you look at it, Pacheco is like, all right, I'm going to follow Trey, and we're going to go get this. Well, unfortunately for Pacheco, he runs right into the back of Trey Smith because Trey Smith gets blown backwards. The linebacker does a great job of getting under Trey's pads with his hands and getting the leverage here in the interaction and just pushing him back. To make matters worse, Jawan Taylor didn't hold his block as well as he did the first time around. So 97 is able to squeeze in behind, and after Pacheco runs into Trey Smith, he's able to take him down for a loss. So let's see this from up front. Remember, we've got Tooney here, got the double here, Taylor's blocking here, Kelce here, and Trey Smith is going to try to come up and block the middle linebacker. So this time Trey Smith gets through. He's there, but I think he tries to give a shoulder right there to 97 and maybe just wasn't quite prepared. And look at the linebacker get hands on him first and push him back right there. And look at Pacheco trying to come behind him. And again, 97 does the same really to Taylor. He manages to get under his pads, push him back a little bit, disengage, and come in. I mean, Pacheco doesn't have a chance on this play. Like, Trey Smith gets blown up. Jawan Taylor isn't able to hold his block. And so with Pacheco having literally no gap to go through here, he is helpless as 97 comes off the block and takes him down. I really can't fault Pacheco. I honestly feel like this one is even harder than the last one because Pacheco has nowhere to go forward. At least the last time he was running forward right into a linebacker. Now, the linebacker got low, and it was a hard situation to gain positive yardage, but at least he was like coming forward at somebody, and in theory could have bowled him over, although I feel like it was a good play by the linebacker. There wasn't much to be done. This time, I mean, his lineman's right in the hole. He's literally got nowhere to go. And then as he's a sitting duck, he gets tackled from the side by a defensive tackle. Like, there's nothing for Pacheco to do on this play. So, to me, we've looked at 4 short yardage runs, 3 by Pacheco, 1 by Kareem Hunt. The 2 that were blocked well went for positive gains and were successful. The 2 that were not blocked well did not. I think it's been that simple. I haven't seen anything to this point that differentiates Hunt versus Pacheco much, except that Hunt on his run did do a good job falling forward, although that was helped by being hit from behind by a defensive end. Let's jump ahead now to 3:30 to go in the 3rd quarter. The Chiefs are up 17-16, and they have a 2nd and 3 at the Texans' 12-yard line. So let's run the play and see what happens. They've got Kareem Hunt at the left of Mahomes in the shotgun. He takes a run going right and ends up gaining about 5 yards or so, maybe 4 or 5 yards to set up 1st and goal for the Chiefs. But let's rewind and see what happened. Chiefs come out in 11 personnel. They've got 1 running back, that's Kareem Hunt, 1 tight end, that's Travis Kelce. The 3 wide receivers are Justin Watson, it's Hollywood Brown, and it's tough to see in that sunlight who that is up there. I think that is DeAndre Hopkins. Oh no, that's Juju, I think. That looks like Juju Smith-Schuster, but it's kind of hard to tell in the sunlight up there. So, what are the Chiefs going to do on this play? They're going to leave the end unblocked. Oh, well, first we should say, just like before, this is an RPO, like one of the plays we discussed earlier. So again, Mahomes has the option to do a bubble screen over here to Hollywood Brown. So watch Hollywood Brown over here on this play. At the snap, he kind of comes out, Kelce goes up, Juju goes up. So there's the option here to just throw a bubble screen here and have him go. But Mahomes decides to hand this off, probably because it's a pretty light box here. There are, 6 right here in the box. So he probably decides numbers-wise, because the end does kind of commit into the run here. So if that were like a singular read, then you could throw it out. But if you look at numbers here, it's 3-on-3 over there, and they've got a light box over here. So it does seem, and honestly, you're not that worried about the end. So you've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for your defensive line, or for your offensive line to block. So you like those numbers favorably, which is probably why Mahomes handed this off. And so the way that they block this, Tooney is taking the tackle. Caliendo's going second level. Creed is taking this defensive tackle. Trey Smith's going second level, and Juwan Taylor is taking the defensive end. So if you watch how this goes, Tooney gets a shoulder on the tackle. Creed takes care here, and Trey Smith gives a nice shoulder before moving up, which helps Creed with this defensive tackle, and Taylor takes this defensive tackle. So as Hunt comes through, he's got a nice lane. Look at this nice lane between Creed and Taylor, and he's got Trey Smith kind of leading him here. As he comes through, honestly, if Tooney was able to hold this block, and this is a tough block because he's coming all the way from the tackle spot, trying to get leverage underneath, and he ends up falling. But if he's able to occupy this tackle a little longer, if you look at this run right here, if this defensive tackle is not in the picture, you look at Hunt possibly having an alley as Trey comes forward to sneak behind Trey Smith. Right here, you can see that in that gap between them, or even sneak this way and have a good shot at scoring a touchdown. But unfortunately, the defensive tackle is able to come through Tooney's block and get Hunt from the back here. But Hunt, keeps his feet moving, and the unblocked end does a good job reemerging and getting in the picture. But Hunt keeps his feet moving. They signal his forward progress stopped around the 8-yard line. But a nice positive gain here for the Chiefs. So again, we'll look at it from this angle. End will be unblocked. Tooney is going to take this tackle. Caliendo's second level. Creed takes this end, but Trey Smith, watch the shoulder he gives before he goes second level. That ends up being very helpful to kind of get him off balance and remove him from the play. And then Taylor blocking here. So Hunt takes the handoff. You can see, watch Trey Smith right there. Just lay his shoulder into this defensive tackle right there. Look how it spins him off balance, and he ends up falling down over here. So he really helped Creed out with his block with that. Then Tooney's got the tough assignment of coming across, trying to get a shoulder in the chest, and her riding this defensive tackle. And he's the one that ultimately isn't able to sustain that block. Caliendo comes through. Creed we talked about here. So then look at the hole that opens up for Kareem Hunt as he comes through. He's got this nice gap, and if Trey Smith and Caliendo are able to make blocks here, this really could be a touchdown if this defender was occupied just a little bit longer. You see him coming through, and if he doesn't have to worry about this guy, there's potential to come this way. There's potential that he could have cut it back this way, and he probably would have scored. But the defensive tackle is able to get him here, and then Will Anderson, the defensive end here, does a great job of just getting back in the picture, pursuing the play and getting involved, holding this to a 4 or 5 yard gain. But again, this follows with the pattern we were talking about before. The plays that are blocked up well end up being positive, and this is a 2nd and 3. They end up getting a first down. But every time the running back has been able to get through the first level unencumbered, the run has gone well. And every time they haven't, the run's been stuffed. I think the pattern has been simple as that, regardless of who the running back has been. Now we jump ahead to 8:25 to go in the fourth quarter. The Chiefs are up 24-19, driving down, trying to get some points, and they're facing a 3rd and 1 at the Texans' 33-yard line or so. Let's see the play, and then we'll break down what happened. Got Mahomes here in the shotgun. He sends Hunt over to his right side, and Mahomes hands it to Hunt, who goes left and picks up about 3 yards and a first down. So let's break down what happened on this play. Again, in a short yardage situation, the Chiefs are in 11 personnel. 1 running back, 1 tight end. 3 wide receivers. This looks like Juju again. This is Xavier Worthy, and this is Justin Watson. And again, in the short yardage situation, the Chiefs are running an RPO. So if you notice here, as Mahomes comes to do the handoff action, they've got a bubble screen option over here to Xavier Worthy, with Juju and Travis Kelce up here blocking. So that option is there for Mahomes. He chooses to hand it here, and again, you can see why, because we're looking at a 6-man box. So again, you're not blocking this end. So really, you've got 5 people to block 5, right? Good numbers for the offense, so this is a good situation to hand off. If you're looking, the defensive end did kind of break down a little bit, but he is crashing down. I will say for these kinds of situations, if you look at how everybody crashes, there is some option here in the future if Mahomes wanted to run one of these, on these kinds of plays, because it looks like people are taking the bubble seriously, the run seriously, and so that third option, as we saw against the 49ers in the Super Bowl, will be there for Mahomes at times just to take off and go. Anyway, how the Chiefs end up blocking this, like we said, unblocked here. So you've got Tooney blocking here. Caliendo slips out to the 2nd level. You've got Creed blocking here, and he gets some help from Trey. And then Wanye Morris blocks here. And Creed and Trey Smith, you'd imagine one of them would likely want to go 2nd level to get that last box defender right here. But they kind of get hung up in this block. This ends up being a kind of 3-on-2 block with Wanye Morris helping out. And the unblocked defender is so far away anyway, he's somewhat inconsequential to a 3rd and 1 situation. Maybe they weren't trying to get 2nd level at all, I'm not sure. But then when Hunt gets it, again, this is sealed pretty well, right? You've got Tooney here, Caliendo here. Creed is doing enough job walling off this mass of this 3-on-2 mass so that there is a gap. Hunt has a hold a hit. And again, he's not touched until he gets about 2 yards. Then the end is able to come off of Tooney's block, and the tackle comes off of this double team behind, and they end up bringing him down for a gain of 3 yards. Again, let's look at it from the reverse view. We said we've got Tooney here. Caliendo is going to go 2nd level and block here. Creed and Trey come out this way, and Wanye there, and they end up kind of 3-on-2 blocking right there. So look at Hunt. Look at where he's got. He's got a nice lane to go through. It's blocked up well. Hunt goes right through and he essentially just gets what's blocked, 55 does a good job coming off of that block and getting to him, but it's a nice gain. Hunt gets what's there. Again, another well-blocked up play. Hunt's not contacted until he's 2 yards past the line of scrimmage on 3rd and 1, and so he's able to convert. All right, so for our last short yardage play of the game, with the 2-minute warning now, the Chiefs are up 27-19, and they have a 2nd and 4 at the Texans' 33-yard line. So at this point, a first down ends the game. Texans don't have any timeouts. And they're in a position where I think both teams kind of understand that they're probably going to just try to run it twice to get 4 yards and end this game. So look at how the Chiefs are lined up here. We talked about on a lot of these short yardage situations, the Chiefs were lined up in 11 personnel. They still had lighter personnel to give the risk of a passing play. No such case this time. The Chiefs come out with 2 tight ends and 2 running backs. This is 22 personnel. Only 1 wide receiver on the field, and that's Juju Smith-Schuster, and he's lined up tight. So let's take a look at the play and see what happens. The handoff to Kareem Hunt, who cuts it out left and gets a huge gain. Ends up sliding down after gaining 20 yards and ending the game. So let's see how this happened. Like we said, the Chiefs are in 22 personnel with a tight end and 2 running backs in the backfield. They've got a wide receiver lined up tight and a tight end lined up tight. The Texans have 5 defensive linemen, so they have 5 down here. They're really looking for the run. And the way that the Chiefs end up blocking this out, so they're going to actually have Carson Steele, their fullback, take the defensive end. Noah Gray is going to take a defensive tackle. Then Wanya Morris is going to take one with Trey Smith. And then, so again, Noah Gray here, Morris and Trey Smith here. Creed Humphrey is going to slide past this defensive tackle, kind of give him a half block. And then he's going to come in, and Trey Smith's going to come off the double with Wanya and double him with Travis Kelce, who's going to come up and insert here. Then Creed is going to come out with Mike Caliendo, and the 2 of them are going to double team the linebacker to really create a nice hole. And then Joe Tooney is going to seal out over here, and then Juju is going to come around this linebacker and seal out. So the goal here, Tooney is going to kick this end out. Juju's going to push this guy in, and then Caliendo and Creed are going to block up here. So they're trying to create an alley over here for Kareem Hunt to run through, while they have an insert over here. Travis Kelce's going to insert over here. So their lead backs are going this way, which is going to help get the impression that the run is going in that direction and get defenders to flow that way. But they're clearing a hole over here for Hunt to run through. So let's watch it in action. This is actually a really cool play. So like we said, we start with the end is going to be Carson Steele's responsibility. You see Noah Gray coming up here. Wanya's coming down with Trey Smith to start, and here comes Creed over here. So if we let it run a little more, here's that double. Here's Creed blocking here. Look at where all the second level defenders are looking, right? They're following the lead backs, right? So Carson Steele's headed in this direction. Travis Kelce is ultimately going to double this guy that's coming off of Creed with Trey. So everybody is kind of flowing in that general direction as where they see everybody going. Here's Creed now leaving 97 when Kelce came up and he's doing that double with Trey Smith. They get the linebacker here. Juju is up here on the defensive back. And like we said, Juju wants to push him this way as Tooney pushes out that way. And these 2 are creating a hole there. And you see this nice seam developing. Hunt, for his part, does a good job of taking the handoff and kind of initially following the lead, right? So that helps bring the defenders into this part of the field. and then he just slides as the hole opens, and there it is. He's going to have a hole right there. Look at Juju sealing that off nicely. Tooney sealing off the Caliendo and Creed double team, and there's a massive lane for Hunt to cut through and get 20 yards and a first down. Let's see it again from this view. So again, Juju is going to come and try to seal this guy off from this side. Tooney is going to kick him out. Caliendo is going second level here. Creed's going to join him after blocking him and then come second level. Trey will end up picking up this guy with Kelsey after he helps initially Wanya Morris's double team. He's going to switch and come over with Kelsey to double this guy. And Noah Gray is going to take on this tackle, and Carson Steele will take on this end. So look at what it looks like from the start, right? If you're a defender, right, they're handing it off, lead guy going this way, lead guy going this way. Look at where all the defenders, none of the defenders are like trying to wheel over here and fill a gap, right? Not even this guy. They're following the kind of action of the run play with their eyes, and everything is telling them it's going in this direction. Then Hunt comes up, and look, the blocks have been made. Creed and Caliendo get second level. Here's that double team with Trey Smith and Travis Kelce. The hole is there, and Hunt hits it. And he does a good job. Juju does a good job of sealing to the inside, so Hunt has a nice lane to get outside. And there he goes. And he does a good job just sliding, ending the game, not risking a turnover or anything weird happening. So ultimately, we've gone through several short yardage runs in this game. And the common denominator was when they've been blocked well, they've gone well. When they haven't been blocked well, they haven't gone well. The two that weren't blocked well, unfortunately, were the 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1 plays for Pacheco. Otherwise, the Chiefs actually did pretty well in short yardage situations. One could argue there was only one other situation where it was like very obvious the Chiefs were going to run no matter what, and that's this last play right here. And that a lot of the other ones, they kind of ran RPOs, they were second and short, so it was a little different. But ultimately, I'm not sure that I see like a huge difference from this game, at least, on the performance of relative performance of the two backs. Pacheco was able to get a 7-yard run on 2nd and 3 when it was blocked up, and he got stuffed on 3rd and 4th and 1 when it wasn't blocked up. Kareem Hunt overall had more success in the short yardage game, but he also didn't have a run that was poorly blocked for short yardage. His runs were blocked pretty well, and he took advantage of it. But I don't know that this game's the takeaway needs to be that, like, oh, we shouldn't be running Pacheco in short yardage situations. At least the evidence from this game doesn't tell us that. And we can see, overall that there may be a larger narrative that I'm missing by just looking at this game. I don't know. But from this game, it seems pretty straightforward. If it's blocked well, the Chiefs' backs do well. If it's not blocked well, they don't. And Pacheco was just the unfortunate recipient of a couple blocking errors in this one.